Hey everyone, this is Arbalo, and for this video we're going to continue with our presentation layer, and this time we're going to focus on the navigation, meaning when we click this button, it's going to display or open or redirect us to another page. Let's say add expense page. Same thing with this. Whenever we click specific items dito sa list natin, it's going to display the details of that page of this expense. So we have already created the pages in our previous video. Now we're going to make them pop. No, lalabas na natin yan. And so how do we do that? So right, diba, this button, this floating action button is existing sa within the ViewAllExpenses na page, and you can see that right here, and wala pa tong action, no? Wala pa tong instructions na we haven't naka-indicate dito, no, in line 76. So we're going to create a program, instruction right here, no? And ano yung instruction for this part? We're going to navigate, use the navigator, and then we call yung method niya, which is push, and then for the route is going to ask for a route. So we're going to provide it with what we call as material page route. Now itong material page route will ask for a widget. As you can see right here, widget yung kailangan niya. So yung widget that we're going to provide is yung ExpenseCubit.editExpense na widget that we just created. And remember, we have the option to provide or wait lang, ano nangyari dito? Oh, sorry, I forgot. Masyado tayo excited. Yung builder, we have to delete this, tapos control space, then click this one. Ito, yung may arrow, not this one, because we are going to return a yun kanina, add edit expense page. Yan, okay, save that and use cons, yeah, of course. Okay, so as you can notice that the add edit expense page is requiring for not requiring, optional, no? Pwedeng meron, pwedeng wala, and we will not provide an expense kasi yung intention natin is to add a new expense page, no? So this is how we're going to display this add edit expense page. Pag click or pag press ng floating action button right here, and I'm gonna save that. Pag click ko yan, boom. Okay. Excuse me. When we click this one, this will also exit or get us back to our previous page, which is yung home page natin, no? Okay, but we eto, pag click natin itong cancel, this should also exit, then get us back to our previous page. So what we're going to do is yung sa cancel, which is nasa add edit expense yan, just go to the button sa cancel and on press. Very simple instruction, navigator din, but navigator, bakit ba nandito to? Ang weird naman. Dito ko, hindi ko tuloy maano. Navigator and pop. So kung merong push, there's a pop. Kasi parang na if you're familiar with the data structure na stack, no, S-T-A-C-K, kung ano yung pinaka ibabaw ng, like for example, a stack of dishes, yun yung nakikita sa taas, no? Assuming you are looking above, no? So ganun din, what's on top of the stack is the current page that is being displayed, and the moment that we call the pop, yung pinakataas sa stack, that will be pop, and kung ano yung previous or yung nasa ibabaw niya na page, yun yung ma-display. So in this case, going back, no, pag click natin yan, and again this will trigger on click sa cancel, that will pop, and that will get us back to our previous page, which is yung expense home, no, my home. So the next one is we're going to display also the other one. Ito, pag click natin any one, either one of these, lalabas yung view page for that, and we go na naman doon sa list. Wait lang, add edit pala to. So view all doon sa list style, no? Kasi each of these are individual list styles, no, that nakarap lang sa card, no. Just for, yung card is, yung purpose lang niya is for aesthetics, no, to add like a shadow na rounded rectangle, but yung kinik-tap natin talaga, kinik-click or tinatap, is the list style itself. So yung on top, remember that ito lang yung nilagay natin na command. As you can see, gumagana siya, no. Whenever we click on top, it will debug print this, no. When what we want is we remove that, kasi we're gonna change it with an actual ano na talaga, navigator. Oy, sorry, medyo weird yung natatabunan kasi whenever I press. Wait lang, it's getting annoying. Navigator dot push. Remember, when we want to display or navigate to a new page, navigate push. The opposite of that is pop. Wait lang. Then material page route builder, delete that, control space, use yung first, no, yung may arrow, and then we'll yung indicate natin dito is view all, view expense pala, view expense, yan, and it's gonna ask us for an object. Thankfully, buti na lang, we already have that object, no, kasi whenever ito. Whenever the list view builds a card, ito index, nagsa-start yan. Wait lang, let me just ano ba yan, index card, index on top. Tama. Tama nga ako. So we will use this card expense. Double check ko lang. Anyway, we will know naman if gagana. We'll use this object na current expense. Yun yung ipapasa natin for the expense, no, na parameter. Okay, so let's see. So pag click ko itong pinakababa, it's going to display dinner 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and as you can see, this is an October 27 pa to siya na na pinaka first ko na entry, or actually meron akong mga previous entries nito. Ito na yung yung natira after many trial and error. This is 27, this one is 11.4, and so on and so forth. So this is arranged by yung pinaka first is yung pinaka recent, and then yung pinaka last is yung pinaka latest, no. Yun. So now we have already able to ano na talaga, gumagana na talaga siya when we click. Ayan, by clicking this one, babalik tayo sa previous page. Now, I would like to emphasize lang before we proceed with the CRUD, no, integrating the Qubit into our UI, no. Kasi as I've shown you kanina, this is arranged by the most recent entry and nasa baba yung pinaka-last. And that is because I modified my Firebase data source. In order by ko siya by date. And descending is true. So, pag descending is true, that will arrange, that will sort your collection, your documents, no, pag query mo by date, pero from the most recent to the most last, no, from the newest to the oldest date, yan yung ibig kong sabihin. But if you remove this, what's gonna happen is it's going to arrange your items kung ano yung pagkaka-arrange din dito. So whatever is first right here, which is 11:10 pa, and then the other one, ito is 11:27. So it's a bit disorganized. So what you could do is, if you are really concerned with arranging your data by time, by date, you need to include a date na field sa each document mo. Yun lang. But if you're not really concerned with that, importante lang is ma-insert yung mga, doesn't matter yung arrangement, basta maari ano lang sila. Or maybe you could also sort it by other fields like amount or description or name of that object. Pwede naman. But yeah, this is how you're going to do that. Order by, and then you just specify yung field that you want as basis sa pag-arrange niya. Yeah, that would be all, and let's get back to our main goal. Ano natin. So, we can finally, no, pag click natin yan, and we can open this and exit this. We can open specific, and oh yeah, we haven't tried pa pala ito. So let me just muna. Let's fix that yung sa edit, no. Pag kinlik natin to, dapat it will also navigate us to the add edit, pero as you remember, no, pag nag-edit tayo, hindi dapat blank yung mga fields. It should be filled up na. So where's that? So this one is view expense, no. So dapat, and this one is edit, no. Edit the icon button. So we go to the our icon button on press navigator dot push and then context route. Change this to material page route, and then you remove that, choose this one, and then add edit expense. And it's going this time we need to provide a expense. So where do we get that? The answer is very simple. It's just right here. So yung view expense, how can it display something if it doesn't have an existing expense, you know? So yung kung ano yung na-receive niya na object from the view all, yun din yung ipapasa niya once we navigate to the add edit expense page. But this time our intention is to edit that expense. So that expense should be widget that expense. Yun. So let's see if this works. Okay, click this one and then click this one, and there you go. See? So kung ano yung data dyan, 1, 2, 3, 4, 12 o'clock, electric bill, utility, yan. And then once we click, yan, cancel, black. Yan, so everything is working as expected, and now we are going to proceed with integrating the qubits. We will call just like what we did dito with the ViewAllExpense. We're able to call this, and then we'll just have some block that's going to wait for the states, and then depending on the state, we'll do something. So we'll start with the add. Add yung expense, and we go. Wait, punta muna tayo sa view all, because we're going to modify what we did kanina, diba? So far ito yung ginawa natin, but what we're going to do is whenever a certain, ito lang, you just need to take note of this. Whenever a certain page is going to call a method sa qubit, we need to wrap that with a block provider, just like what we did dito sa main.dart. Yung ViewAllExpensePage, it is using or calling the fetch all expense sa ExpenseCubit. Di niya ito magagawa unless this ViewAllExpensePages has been wrapped as a child of a block provider. So you need to wrap it with a block provider. So ganun din with our with our add expense. We want to be able to add pag click ng button na to, or we should be able to edit pag na-click natin tong button na to, but before that we need to wrap it with the added dito. Okay, so we're going to click this and wrap it with block provider. Yan. And just like what we did kanina with our previous videos, we're going to get our qubit object from our dependency injection container. So again, we're going to call service locator. Okay, service locator, where let me get that ExpenseCubit. Boom, and there you go. Got it, as simple as that. But let me just lang para dire-diretso na tayo. I'm going to modify this further, but we'll explain na lang yung logic behind this. So yung navigator push, wait lang ha, let me just yung navigator push has a chance of returning a value, as you can see, future t. Kaya t siya because yung result niya is dynamic, could be any data type, and question mark meaning there's a chance nga pwedeng meron, pwedeng wala, pwedeng null or pwedeng object yung i-return niya. But what we're going to do is we're going to assume that it's going to return a result. So yung result nito na i-return niya, we should be able to capture that in a variable, Kaya nag-create tayo ng final result, and then we will also await, kasi we don't want this once tinawag natin yung push, we don't want it to proceed to the next line of code. Kumbaga kailangan nakatenga muna yan. Pag nakuha na niyan yung result, tsaka pa tayo mag-proceed with the next lines of code dito. And since we introduce an await, so we need to also provide the async keyword. Then again, we will wait for this to finish, whether may result ba yan or wala. So yun. Then after that, we're going to read ExpenseCubit, but we're going to fetch all. And ano yung purpose nito? This will refresh the view all expenses page. And why do we need to refresh? No, that is because di ba nag-add tayo, no? Assuming na successful to, we're able to add new expense, no? So we're expecting na may nadagdag sa list dito, may madadagdag, no, na hindi pa siya dinedisplay, no? So by calling this read fetch all expenses, that will force our expense page to refresh itself. Kasi diba pag fetch all expenses, that's going to trigger the Qubit. Saan yung Qubit? Okay, and then once the Qubit is called, tinawag siya, saan na yun? Okay, this one, that is going to emit again expense loading dito sa ano natin, ViewAllExpense. And once again, it's going to trigger our block builder to load the loading state shimmer. And then once successfully makuha niya yung new list of expenses, is going to load it again and provide it back to the ViewAllExpense. So okay, then render this one, and then yun, we build render again a list view with the updated list of expenses. Yun yung magiging yun yung main reason why this is, we call this, no, again, and just to make it short, no, we are assuming that the moment that we call this, magiging successful yung pag-add ng new expense. And since may nadagdag sa database, let's say for example, you have 5 entries sa cellphone mo, but 6 yung expenses na nadagdag sa database, dapat we should call again fetch all para ma-display yung entire view all expenses page na 6 na yung items na i-display niya sa mobile phone nyo. Ganon. Okay, I hope that you understood that. But you can just recap na lang to whatever I say. You can rewind them in the video. But anyway, the next part is we're just going to double check lang if the data that we are going to be getting, or the result, no, yung data type niya is string. Kasi we will command this edit expense to return a string, and you will understand it. Ano yung string na i-return niya? Kasi kung ano yung string na i-return niya, i-display niya sa snack bar. Snack bar is just like a parang notification rectangle, and nasa baba siya, pinaka bottom usually lumalabas. You call that a snack bar. Scaffold. So we first create a snack bar, and then once we have created the snack bar, we display that snack bar to the user's device or to the screen. Ano ba? Yan, okay. Yun. So yun. Later on, we're going to babalik tayo dito. But at least I already explained to you the flow once we click this add button right here. Pag click natin yan, push, visit added expense. After pag exit, we get the result from the added expense, edit expense, which is most likely a string. Then we call this one to we call the fetch all expenses to refresh or reload the view all expenses page. Then we check if talagang string ba talaga yung ni-return niya. If yes, we display that string in a snack bar, and that snack bar will be displayed to the user. Now, let's go to the addExpense. Kasi dito, this is going to be a bit mahaba-habang program to dito. Wait lang, let me just check lang my reference note. Okay, so now right here, diba, we're expected na pag kinlik natin ng button na to is going to add, but kung meron siyang meron siyang, if this expense is not null, hindi siya null, so mag-edit siya, and we're going to apply that logic right here on press. The first is, before doing anything else, I'm gonna create an is valid form key current state dot validate. Oh, sorry. Actually, I should na lang. Although yung sige, na lang. Okay. Input equals to key current state instance value. Okay, so basically what these two lines of code does is, first we check if valid ba yung lahat ng entry dito for each input field na nandito, so we have a total of 4 this one we check kung valid ba based on the validators. If if this field right here, for example itong amount na to, may input siya, hindi blanco, number siya, tsaka positive number siya. Basically, pag lahat dito is na check or na verify na true for this input, okay, that's one, Then after that, i-check naman ito. Check ito if the validators will check, okay, required, meron bang input, meron bang input, meron bang input. Now, if all of this is valid, so this will be true. But if at least meron dito, one of these has an invalid, or let's say since lahat naman dito required, pag meron kang nalaktawan dyan, you did not provide an input, that's gonna make your entry invalid, and this will be false. This one is just simply getting all the inputs. This is a map string, by the way. So, kung ilan yung entries, yung input fields mo, you have ganun din yung number of key and value pairs mo. The key will be this one. Yung value is yung value ng in-input ng user. So, in this case, this is the key, the first key. Yung value niya is yung input ni user. Kung ilan yan, kung 1, 2, 3 ba yan, 4, 5, 6. This is also another key. Yung value niya is ano yung pinili ng na category ni user, and so on and so forth. So again, we just validate lang kung valid ba yung entry ni user, true. If yes, this will be true yung value, else false. This one will just get all the inputs from the text fields, and they are formed into a map data structure, key value pairs na data structure. So the next is we're gonna check if talagang valid ba talaga. Kasi we will only take action and it's only it only makes sense lang naman, no? Wait lang, hindi ko pa ito na-introduce, no? Kasi mamaya na lang to. Kasi pag valid yung entries ni user, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new expense na object. Gagawa tayo ng bago, and now for each of these ID, widget, expense, and then ID, then sige, let me just ano ba, kasi ito kasi na mga notations na to, operations na to is exclusive lang sa, I don't know with other language, but this is what Dart has, no? Itong mga question marks, this is for null safety, kasi yung Dart kasi meron siyang null safety na feature sa language niya. And let's say sige, mas mabuti siguro kukompleto ko muna yung lahat, and I think it's better if I will consult the help of ChatGPT. Pero sige lang, inputs category, I will enter muna the instructions, then I will explain na lang later on. Okay, then this, sorry. Okay, so let me just save this, and then let me just copy this, and I'll go here, then okay, explain this code in this Dart code. Okay, the provided Dart code creates a new expense object using the expense class. Here's the breakdown. Okay, this line retrieves the ID property from the widget expense object. If widget expense is null, it uses the null aware to avoid a runtime error. Okay, if it's still null, it defaults to an empty string. Yun. Okay, let me break it down. Yung ibig sabihin nito, basically, yun nga, it uses the null aware operator to avoid a runtime error. Kasi pag tinanggal natin yan, is going to like mag-error yan kasi, hey, bakit ka ba nag-access ng ID? There's a chance nga null yung expense, no? So warning tayo ni Dart na, hey, you should not do that. So we are asked to provide this question mark. Okay, that's like para hindi magka-crash yung program, no? Actually, requirement niya talaga yan, no? Now, if ever, kasi pag null tong expense, everything right here, itong ID na ma-access niya will result to null. Tapos itong question mark is pag null yung ID, itong itong empty string na to, yun yung i-assign natin sa ID. That will be the value of this parameter sa expense, no? But no, if expense is not null, hindi siya null, meron talaga tayong object na na-receive sa addExpensePage, the ID of this expense na object is equals to the ID of the widget expense. So yan, in just to in this short line of code, yun yung flow niya. Okay. And then the rest is just ano lang, this line parses the values of the inputs amount as a double number. So ganito kasi yan, yung inputs amount, as you recall dito, string yan, no? String yan, yung data type na yung value, corresponding data type value nito sa amount is all the numbers yung in-input mo. The text field is going to interpret that as a string. So dapat we need to convert that into a double, kasi yun yung purpose ng parse, to convert a string amount, although number siya, but numbers yung characters niya, pero treated pa rin siya as a string. So by calling this double parse, so parang ano ba, imagine the input amount, yung i-return niya is like 123.0, like that, but string siya kasi may double quotes. By calling double parse, this 123 becomes a string, from a string of 123 to a number of 123.0. Yan yung magiging value that will be assigned to the amount. So this will be the final value after all of this. So yun yung flow. Inputs category is already a string, yung category is string din naman. So yun, date time, remember date time dito, ito yung data type ng value nito, itong field na to will always be date time. So no worries in converting this to by calling this inputs date time talaga yan. It's gonna be a date time, and then this input description string yan. So yeah, so yun, the bottom line is we create a new expense object, and each of its attributes comes from the entry ng user dito sa mga input fields na to, except for the ID, kasi yung ID is either yung value na ma-assign sa kanya is from the widget expense itself or empty string. And usually empty string siya kung nag-add tayo, add yung purpose natin. Pero kung edit, yan. Yeah, on the other hand din, wait lang. Yeah, tama. Yeah, yun, that's pretty much it, no? So, the next is, after creating a new expense, now we will perform na talaga yung operations na gagawin natin, and we're gonna put that in an if else, kasi ito kasing button na to, itong button na to in particular, ito yung add expense, iba kasi yung behavior niya. Kasi kung add yung expense siya, mag-a-add siya, pero kung edit expense yung nakasulit dito, edit expense din yung behavior ng button na to. So how do we do that? No, we will create an if else condition. If widget expense is null, and most likely that is true, the only time na magiging null lang naman yung expense is if we call yung yung add edit expense with a blank expense. And usually we do that because when we are adding, yung floating action button na add. So pag null yung widget expense, it is safe for us to assume na adding yung purpose niya, so context that read, now we call the expense natin ExpenseCubit, and then add expense. Oh yeah, if nag-error to yung read na So most likely hindi pa natin na import yung ano. Ayan, and then add expense. Now it's gonna ask for an expense object. Of course, ito yung ipapasa natin. And that's it. Yun lang. Yun lang ba? Let's see. Read ExpenseCubit.addExpense. Yeah, so far so good. Else, kung meron, di ano, context read expense update expense. Yan. So ganun lang kasimple. Anyway, yung focus lang muna natin for now is yung add, diba? So now let's trace. Okay, so going back, diba, sa floating action button dito, pag click natin to, navigator push, call or open the edit expense na page. Then okay, assuming na na-fill up na lahat ng mga forms dito, pag click yung pag click yung edit button, yun, check if the entry is like fill up ko lang muna everything. Yan. Let's see if it works now. Pag click natin yung elevate button dito, it's gonna check kung valid ba lahat ng inputs, get the inputs, and then if valid, we create a new expense from the user's inputs. Okay, these are all inputs from the user. And if expense is null, pag wala namang pinasang expense objects dito, which is true naman, we will perform adding expense. And let's see if mag-a-add ba talaga to. Okay, it did not. Or maybe it did. Actually, may kulang pa tayo dito na step. I forgot pala. But let me back that. Yan. So ano na siya, lumabas na siya actually. Well, ganito kasi yan. There's something na nakalimutan ko. 4, 5, 6. Oh, wait lang. Dapat hindi ko na lang in-input, no? Kasi ganun pa rin. Anyway, the moment that we click, actually gumana na yun. Kaya nga nakita yun na ano na siya. What we did not add yet is first, dapat pag nag-click tayo ng add expense, the user should at least be informed na may nangyayari sa action or request na ginawa niya. So usually, if an action like this one, simple adding lang naman to ng expense, usually kung ano yung button na press niya or click niya or na-tap niya, mag-change yung itsura niya to a circular progress indicator. Parang may umiikot dito. Tapos yung button is naka-disable. So that while naglo-load yung application, yung button, hindi siya makapress, naka-disable. And once yun, pag nag-successful yung pag-add, it will automatically exit and display yung bagong entry. That's the flow that we want to achieve. So how do we do that? Di muna ako mag-ano dito, input kasi. Okay, so remember that widget expense null, no? And then we call add expense. If we trace this one, Diba? Expense loading, it's going to display expense loading. And then after that, it's going to emit either expense error or expense added. Yun. At yun yung possible ano niya ng mga tawag ito, states na i-emit ni Qubit during this operation, add expense, loading, error, added, expense added. So yung gagawin natin muna is pag nag-loading, expense loading, no, pag na-emit to expense loading, we will make this one display a circular progress indicator. Pag nag-fail, we will display a message dito sa baba called a snack bar, and we will describe ano yung details na nangyari. But if successful siya, by with this we will emit an expense added, and then mag-exit siya. So yung gagawin natin in order for us to achieve that, yung na-describe ko na flow ng program natin, is we will make this application, this entire widget right here na i-display niya, since ito naman yung i-display niya, no, scaffold, we will wrap that in a block, hindi block consumer, cancel block listener. Magli-listen lang siya, makikinig lang yan ng, kasi iba-iba kasi yung ano dito sa block, no? We have block builder where you can build dynamically depende sa states. We have block consumer, which is a builder and a listener at the same time. Yung block listener, which is what we want, will just listen to states and do something depende sa state. You don't have to like necessarily render or return a new widget sa block listener, basta we're able to listen to the states, okay, sa na ini-emit ni Qubit. So we wrap this with a block listener, ExpenseCubit, yan, and now let's try first yung muna, yung error, or actually pwede naman siya mag-interchange, no? We can interchange this, but so let's try muna yung sandali lang ha. Yung muna, yung loading state muna. Pag click natin, maglo-load siya. There are actually two ways to implement that. We could use the block listener, pero I prefer lang muna to use what we call, gagawa ako ng state na boolean is performing is equals to false. So I'll set the initial state of this performing to false. What I mean by performing is pag may ginagawa bang crude operation yung itong widget na to, kung nag-add ba siya, nag-edit ba siya, or ginagawa niya ba niya yung add or edit na operation. So we'll set that to false, and the only time na masiset siya to true is when we going back, again, the only time na masiset siya to true is when something triggers it, and the one that's going to trigger that to true is this part right here. Pag click natin yung elevate button, that's going to so dalawa yung mangyayari dito. First, set state, then we will change the performing to yan, and yun. So kapag nag-true yung is performing, eto namang button na to, kasi lahat by calling the set state, that's going to rebuild everything. So tatawagin to ulit, and this run everything. Lahat ng mga widgets i-display again, but this time what we want is to make this one dynamic. So dapat pag is performing, pag true yan, you don't have to like do this. If is performing is true, pwede naman diretso na lang. If is performing, wait lang, ano ba yun? Do this instead. So we will pag performing yung state, so iikot yung circular progress indicator sa device sa button, pero yan. Okay. Yan. Okay. So just to break down what's going on, if true to, display a circular progress indicator. Pero if this one is false, question mark, what to know? If this one is false, do this instead. Display ka ng text. Now another thing is punta tayo doon sa taas. Wait lang, ito pala button. Teka lang ha, sinesearch ko pa yung ano, para may kulang ata, no? Ayun, so yeah, dinouble check ko lang. So not only na yung child, yung content ng text na to, itong button na to, this one right here, add expense, is either going to display add expense, this one, or yung child ng nito will be replaced by itong label, itong text na to, this will be replaced by size box. Yun. Also, 'di ba sabi ko dapat naka-disable to yung button na to. The only way for us to disable a button is if we set its on press to null. But currently naka-set na yan to static na. Meron na siyang anonymous function. Itong hina-highlight ko, this is the function of the on press. Ito pala, sorry. Everything right here. Wait lang, asan yun? Wait lang, check ko lang. Trace ko lang. Ito pala, yan. Ito. But, we want this elevate button to be disabled nga. So, magdi-disable lang pag false yung performing. Pag true, pag true yung performing, magdi-disable. Else, do this instead, itong instruction. So, we will also make this dynamic. Is performing, then null, or else we can perform this function. Ito. So yun, we're not actually done yet, no? Kasi punta naman tayo sa taas, kasi we will also respond to the other states, no? Like, so let's start with the positive, no? If state is expense added, we will navigator.pop. Sorry, navigator pala. Pero meron tayong ipapasa na string expense added. So yun, dyan na papasok yung yung sinabi kanina, that going back dito sa view all, diba, we write this code kasi we are hoping that after the add edit expense is finished, it's going to return a result. And this is how a certain page will be able to return a result balik sa tumawag sa kanya, yung nag-push sa kanya. So yun yung solution. We just simply pag pop natin, we can actually pagsabayan ng dalawang goal, no? When we pop from the add edit expense that dart back to the view all, we will also be sending at the same time a string. Itong string na to, yun yung i-display dito sa snack bar. Snack bar and scaffold. Okay, so what else? Else if, what if ang error pala? Ito na lang, else. Else, kung ito na lang, para safe, no? Else if state is expense error. So hindi naman always na successful or na expense added, no? So yung mangyayari dito is we're going to display a snack bar di, dapat small letters to. And yung content niya is a text. Yung data na hinihingi niya will come from the message na kina-carry ng state expense error, no? So this should be state.message. And then wait lang sige tapusin ko muna to. Scaffold messenger of context show snack bar, and that's it. Now we could actually even enhance this kasi since this is an error, no, we're going to display an error message, and if mahaba yung message niya para hindi siya mabitin, mas mabuti na lang that we provide also space, comma space. We provide a duration of 5. Yun. So, and not only that, no, kasi kung mag-error yung program, yari no, ito click natin yan. Pag nag-error after editing, after adding, hindi natin siya i-exit kaagad, or for me lang, no, hindi in my own preference, mag-auto exit lang siya pag successful yung pag-add, auto pop rather, no, automatic na magpa-pop. But kung hindi, display a message, then bahala na siya. If the person wants to cancel, balik siya sa previous page, or repeat again yung previous request na nag-failed. So yun yung ibig kong, yun yung purpose ko for that, no? Kasi sometimes internet doesn't work, so at least you will give the user a chance to redo again yung action na nag-fail, no, kanina. So yun. So also we want to also na from if ever nag-fail, no, we want this back to normal, na makiklik niya again, no, kasi na-disable kasi natin yan the moment that we set the is performing to true. So we will put it back. Ibabalik natin yung button sa dati state niya na active na siya, clickable na siya, by setting state again na dapat is performing is now false. Kasi pag nag-false tong is performing, remember, pag nag-false siya, our button will not be null. Instead, ito na yung anonymous function that will be assigned to this on press, no, and that will make the elevated button enabled, no. Okay, so what else? Yun lang muna for now, and let's see, let's save lang muna, and let's do it again, no. Add tayo ng bagong entry 999, or others na lang, no, kasi hindi naman siya 11. Yan, PM, and then we add, and then yun, as you notice, though, see, siya na-disable, yung button was nag-gray siya, meaning disabled siya, but also may circular progress indicator din na lumabas sa button. And yeah, medyo bilis siya, but if you could slow it down once you play this video back, no, yun yung naging flow. Within a couple of seconds, successful na siya, nag-pop yung natin, yung ito nag-pop siya automatically. Nag-pop siya automatically and then redisplay or refresh again yung list and may lumabas na message expense added. Yung lumabas kanina na expense added, that was what we call as a snack bar yung tawag doon. So yun, now successful na tayo with the ad, no? Let's try this time yung edit na naman. So pag click natin to, oh yeah, mag-error pa yan kasi mag-error yan. And the main reason for that, actually if we check the message, that will also give us more clues or context, no? But alam ko na yung message. Wait lang. Okay, so the following provider not found, yun, see, exception doon sa edit expense kasi could not find the provide ExpenseCubit. So nangyari tong error na to because the moment that we click yung ganito kasi yan, di ba? View, ay nag-error siya. Sige, refresh natin. Just to recap what happened. Pag click natin to, this is displaying the view expense, right? And then the moment that we click yung edit na to, notice that wala tayong provide. Kaya diba yung error kanina is provider exception, right? Or provider not found, no? That is because we haven't provided this with a block provider pa. So yun yung next goal natin, or next task. Just like what we did kanina, we wrap this with a block provider, and etong subject block na to, we will get that from our dependency injection by calling our service locator ExpenseCubit, and then that's it. Okay, mag-error to because we haven't imported the library. And then yun. So let's see, hopefully things will be okay na. Pag click natin to, yan. So sige, let's go to edit expense, and this time diba the widget has a for sure meron tong false to kasi dito sa ViewAllExpense nagpasa tayo ng expense na widget sa edit expense, and therefore this one right here has a object, may object to. So magfo-false yan. So yung behavior ng natin elevate button, this will behave as an edit expense, and therefore this will trigger the else condition. Tatawag yan with the update expense. Now pag click natin to 1, 2, 3, 4, change natin to 1, 2, 3, 4 or 7, no? Para or yan, sige. Pag click natin yan, wait lang ha. Pag click natin yan, that should be able to, just like sa pag-add expense added, pag nag-successful siya, automatic siyang magpa-pop din. So remember that pag nag-click tayo ng add update expense, ano ba nagsasabi ko? The moment that we called this update expense sa ExpenseCubit is going to emit some states, expense loading, okay, and then after that, pag success, expense updated. Okay, so what we want is we're going to intercept this. No, we want the block listener, since the block listener can listen to any states na ini-emit ni ExpenseCubit. What we want is for the block listener to be able to notice that. No. Now, if ma-notice niya, else if na-notice niya na yung state na na-listen niya from the ExpenseCubit is an expense updated, we will navigate up. But we're not going to return a string, which I will explain later why. We are going to return a state that new expense. So hindi message yung i-return niya, but it's going to return an object na new expense, the newly updated expense. And the moment that this will pop, no, pag nag-pop yan, di ba, pag in-update natin to, successful yung pag-edit, magpa-pop yan automatically. It will go back right here and display the changes right here. From 1 to 3 magiging 1 2 3 4 7 out 4 7. Yeah, yan, pag clinic natin yan magiging 1 2 3 4 7 to. Sige, we will do this but actually pag ginawa natin to, edit expense, yan, nag-pop siya. Okay, so that's because successful, no, naka-update tayo. Unfortunately, hindi pa lumalabas yung tawag nito, yung changes na ginawa natin. But if we check dito sa database natin, this is an electric bill, right? So yan, okay, so finally yan, nag-change yung amount niya dito, but hindi pa natin siya napapa-reflect dito. And how do we do that is we go to our view expense. Remember sa add edit expense that we created an additional line of code right here na kapag si block listener is nakasagap siya ng state from the qubit na expense updated, okay, it will pop navigator pop and then send a new expense object back to the view expense. So matatanggap yan ni view expense right here, no, sa navigator push, no. And so what we're going to do is we're going to get that object from the add from here, yung sinend niya na object, new object, no, new updated object to the new expense. We will get that by final result is equals to navigator and then await and then async. Every time you have introduced a keyword na await, and the reason nag-await tayo is because we want na hanggat hindi pa to natatapos, we will not proceed with the next line. So we await and then we async din kasi these are pair, no. We get the result from the push and there's a chance the object to expense object, then we check ko lang yung code ko. Okay, so we check no if the result is expense. Yung data type ng result na to, kasi dynamic kasi ito eh. If yung runtime niya is expense, then we do something to do. Okay. So yung I'm going to do something first before tayo babalik dito. Kasi what happens kasi is eto we want this to change or update everything na nakikita nyo, di ba? That is the reason why naka-stateful widget tong ViewExpensePage. So, what we want is to rebuild. We want to rebuild again everything para ma-render niya ulit tong lahat dito. And the only time that we can rebuild is when we set state, which is yun yung gagawin natin dito, set state. But however, the moment that we call this set state, we need to also change a state, no? So we have to declare a state right here na i-change natin over a period of time. And yung gagawin natin is supposed to be, we are going to change this expense, no? But we can't do that because it's residing or it's existing right here on line 26, and we cannot also do this one. Widget.expense is equals to yung result. Cannot do that kasi yung widget.expense is a final na yan. It was declared final, and kung tatanggalin natin yan, mag-error din yan kasi cannot define a non-constructor na non-final. Yan. So the only option we have is, what we're going to do is, first we will create muna, no? A late expense current, and let me bakit late yung keyword dito, di ba? Sabi ko we're going to create a state right here, and what we're going to change from time to time is the expense object, not this one but this one. So dito sa set state, instead of widget expense, is current expense should be result. Yan, that's it, that's all. However, we need also to provide an initial value, diba? Always, as you can see naman with the other widgets na state, no? Wait lang, like this one, meron siyang is performing na state, no? And nakaset siya to false, meron siyang initial value, no? Eto, nilate natin. And the reason for that then is what we want is we're going to pass the value or this object from here to here. So mag-override tayo, override init state, and then of course mandatory that we call this super init state before doing anything else. Then yun na yun, yung value ni yung initial value in the current expense will be equal to the expense that was passed from the constructor. Oh, widget.expense pala. Yan, that solves our problem. Now, what we want also, diba, is all of this. Ito, these are kung ano yung changes dito, that's going to reflect the changes right here, balik dito. So since these texts are changing, no, What we want is we want them to depend not anymore sa widget expense. Hindi na sila hindi na nila babasahin yung value ng description sa widget expense, but we will now rely on this current expense na anymore. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna Control H, or you can simply, if you are using wait, asan yun? Edit pala, replace, Control H yun. Widget expense, replace it with current expense. Yan. So that will guarantee na okay, we don't change this one. Ito yung i-change natin. This one, okay. Replace, 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 and skip that one. So yun, lahat ng mga widget that expense kanina, we replace it with current expense description. Yes, okay, so on and so forth, so on and so forth. Yeah, and now let's test. No, once again, so 1 2 3 4 7, we click, go back to 1 2 3, edit expense. That should change. Now if you're not convinced yet, we'll change this to water bills, and sige, we'll change that time na lang din to a later date, 1 p.m. Yan, and that's going to change all and update all the ano. And that solves our problem. Now there's one thing pa na nakalimutan ko, which also got me stuck, kasi pag back nito, dapat this should also trigger to reload kasi nag-change nga tayo, di ba? That should also refresh everything. Right, here's expenses. So what we're going to do is, remember, no, when we click this one, it's going to open the bill. So we go right here to view all expenses, and now, diba, this is the line of code that responsible for that. Pag na-click tayo nito, lalabas yung view expense. What we're going to do is we change this to, teka lang ha, now just check my reference dito. Okay, so yung gagawin lang dito is quite simple lang. We'll just await this one, and then final. Actually wala naman tong we just do this, yun lang, and then async. Since we don't need the values that's going to return by the navigator push, what we want lang naman is after niyang mag-exit, the next step is to trigger again the ExpenseCubit. We're going to trigger again yung fetch all expenses, and this will again refresh the page. Yan, so let's see if it works this time. 1 2 3 4 7, click that, and then click, and magiging 1 2 3 4 7 na yan. Yun! So now we're done with the last one, which is to delete. So pag click natin to, itong delete na to, Now we go again to the view expense page. This time we'll focus on the icon button na delete. So yung ano lang dito is quite simple lang, but let me just double check again, baka no, double check ko lang yung code, no. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. We're going to first display a snack bar. And then yung content niya is a text. And the purpose of this is to inform lang the users na ginagawa na yung ano, yung request niya, no? Because we don't want yung user na mag-wonder kung yung ano niya, yung request niya is may nangyayari ba or hindi. So that's the purpose of this. Again, no, this is a tip to all developers out there or UX designers. Whenever there's an action, you should always provide a feedback or a way na parang ano ba, feedback. Usually pwedeng yung mga common options dyan is to display a circular progress indicator, or display a snack bar, or display a dialogue. Pero yung dialogue is intended lang for long processes. Yung ano dyan, snack bar is if the process is a bit longer, more than 2 seconds or 5 seconds. Yung dialogues are for like longer, like more than 10 seconds, no? Circular progress indicators are for like shorter na mga durations. Okay, so yeah, we just displayed the snack bar. It's a scaffold messenger, so snack bar, and then we proceed with the actual ano na talaga. Okay, we can't just ano lang diretso lang. Okay, we delete, we communicate with the qubit to delete the expense. Ano ba yun? Delete. Hey, that's weird. Ano yun? Oh, sorry, kalimutan ko nga pala. Function kasi to, then delete. Yan. Again, we can't just technically pwede naman itong tanggalin natin to, and we just go directly with the delete expense operation. But again, that will make the user wonder kung talagang may nangyayari ba sa ano ba, may nangyayari ba. So yun, and that's it. Okay, so yun, we will make a request sa Qubit to delete the current widget expense that this object, this page is currently holding. And then of course, if we check the code dito, that's going to emit that the Qubit is going to emit loading, expense error, expense deleted. Now what we are after is ito, expense deleted, kasi we're gonna make the block listener. And asan yung block listener na yun? Actually gagawa pa tayo ng block listener pa lang, no? We're going to create right here sa pinaka scaffold block listener, expense qubit expense take. So if successful yung operation, that expense deleted talaga yung na-trigger na state or na-emit na state from the Qubit, we will di ba nag-display tayo ng scaffold, nag-show snack bar tayo, we will do the opposite. Siyempre, itatago na natin yan. We will hide the current snack bar. Wala naman yung hinihingi na snack bar, just this one. So yun. And then of course, we automatically pag nag-delete to, syempre di na to dapat makikita pa ni user. Mag-exit na yan, balik sa dito sa home page natin, no. So we will call the navigator.pop and we will send a message na expense deleted. Okay. Yan. So, since yung 'di ba pag click nito, ay sorry. Bakit ano nangyayari? Oh, let me just check lang. Siguro kailangan mo will restart muna. Check ko lang if ayun, so nagti-trigger pa rin siya. And could not find the correct provider, Qubit, so on and so forth. That's weird. Okay, so let me just trace again yung problem dito. Okay. Saan ba yung root dito? The provider was thrown building expense page. Could not find the correct provider expense about expense. Build it. Okay. Remember that this one triggered the moment that we include yung block listener, diba? So let's, if I undo everything, yan. So pag nano ko yan, restart ko yan, okay, so yan, lumalabas siya. So, in other words, the block listener, yung requirement niya is ExpenseCubit, hindi siya na-provide. Which I believe is not to provide na natin yan. Oh, actually we did not. Kaya pala. So, the problem pa rin is, yeah, again, no, whenever you encounter that problem na again, let's repeat the error. Yan, etong error na to. That is because we have the block listener trying to ask for the ExpenseCubit. Hindi pa to siya na-provide because the moment that we trigger this view expense galing sa view all, wala, hindi natin siya na wrap with a provider, so we need to provide again. And apologies if hindi ko siya na but ganun talaga. There are some things that happens unexpectedly, but I'm sure solve na to. Pag click natin yan. Okay, so let's go back. So we will try to this one, delete this, and hopefully this will display. Actually hindi pa nga natin to nasosolve to, no. Ito to. Kasi ito expense deleted, this will be received back to the ViewAllExpense. So this time we really need to capture that, no, final result, and there's a chance that this is going to be a string. Ito yung marireceive niya, yung, and then just like what we did, I'm just copy paste na lang yung ginawa ko dito. Yan, kung string yung result, we will print that. We will display that, and let's see kung madi-delete ba siya. Yan, so yun, success, we were able to delete. But of course, we're not done pa, kasi what if pala mag-error yung program. So just like what we did, the same when we add, no, we will also anticipate pag nag-error, we will display a snack bar. Yun lang. Ito lang yung gagawin natin. Else if, sorry, ay, what ganun? Sige, state is expense error, copy paste that, and that's it. Yun lang ba? Let me just check lang my, yeah, yun lang. So I cannot emulate this, itong expense error, kasi I'm in a browser kasi. So this will only appear if offline, yung if you are testing this on an offline na phone, lalabas tong expense error na to. But yeah, that ends our video for the navigation and CRUD. And natagalan lang tayo with the edit, no. But anyway, hope that you would understood everything that I just explained. If not, you can just rewind everything. And if you have any questions, just feel free to chat at the comment section. And I'll see you guys in the last video, which is about theming, no, or like setting up the colors and customizing the font text and font styles and everything. Yun lang, and goodbye.